Nice to see you, Carla. All right, have a seat up on your left. Rest your hands on your thighs. Take your shoulders over your hips. Begin to settle into your body. Let all the thoughts, the conversations from before, just let them dissolve away. If they don't want to dissolve away, you can move them to the back bottom part of the brain where they will be, but they are often a little quieter there. And give yourself permission to drop your awareness into your body, into the here and now. Finding the even balance of your sits bones. Finding the lengthening of the inner groins from the lower abdomen to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the lower abdomen, lengthening out in both directions. Letting the flesh of the inner thighs descend, drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body, lengthen through your side ribs. Find an evenness on the two sides. Now, as we lift through the side ribs, there's a tendency to regrip the inner thighs. So as you lengthen up through the side ribs, can you lengthen through the inner thighs, the inner groins at the same time? So from your waist, there's a lifting upwards. From your waist, there's a releasing downwards through the inner legs. Your shoulders move down and away from the sides of your neck as you extend from your armpits to your inner elbows. And as the elbows draw down, bring your palms together with your thumbs at your chest. Touch your palms evenly, left to right, right to left. And find a broadening both across the chest from the sternum out through the collarbones, but also broadening the top of the back. Your facial features release and relax as you rest your eyes into your cheekbones, gazing at the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together, exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling. Lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head and gently let your eyes open. Change the cross of your legs. Find the even balance of the sit bones again. Lengthen through the inner groins. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Front bottom ribs moving towards the back body, lengthening to the side ribs evenly on the two sides of the body. Interlace your fingers together, turn your palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Now, when you take your arms up, your front ribs will push forward. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you take your arms up. Notice if you just gripped your inner thighs as well. Release the inner thighs, lengthen through the side ribs, straighten the elbows, and extend your wrist towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen up a little bit more. On your exhalation, turn to the right. Rotate. Rotate the ribs around. Don't just rotate the shoulders. The shoulders will go, but rotate the ribs around. Extend up a little bit more through the wrists. Keep that length. Don't collapse. Inhale, exhale, turn. And then inhale, exhale, come to center. Extend the wrists up again, lengthen, exhale, turn the other way. Don't collapse. So you're pressing through the sit bones, releasing the groins. Inhale, extend through the wrists, extend through the side ribs. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Exhale, come to center. Release your hands out to the sides. Rest them on your thighs. Palms up, palms down. It's up to you. Urdhva Sadasana. Arms forward, arms up. Watch those ribs. So get that length. Press through the sit bones to reach to the side ribs, the armpits, and the arms. Now maintain that lift. Turn your hands out to the side. Come down halfway. Drop the shoulders. Keep the lift. Now create some width. Inhale, exhale, turn to the right. So the left hand is over your right knee. Right hand is behind you. If you can't reach the floor, then take another blocker or lift behind you. Rotate the upper arms out. Remember, inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Wrap the ribs around. Don't just turn the head. The head, you can keep the chin in line with your sternum. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Arms forward, arms up. Push through the sit bones, reach up. Maintain that lift, arms out to the sides. Maintain the lift, maintain the width. Inhale, exhale, turn. The opposite way, to the left. Or if you turn the other way, then the other way. Whatever is opposite for you. Rotate the ribs around. Don't lead with the head, please. Chin in line with your sternum. Rotate the upper arms out. That makes more space for the side ribs to lift and lengthen. Of course, it also pushes the front ribs forward. So draw the front ribs back, lift through the side ribs. Inhaling, we lift, lengthen. Exhale, turn. And exhale, come to center. Straighten your legs. Have a strap nearby. Straighten your legs. So fingertips by your hips. If you prefer being on the floor, you can be on the floor. It's your choice, whether you want to lift or you want to be on the floor. If you're on a lift, you want your fingertips to be by your hips. If your fingertips don't touch, then you need an extra lift there. So you can use a couple extra blocks. It doesn't matter if your arms are bent. The tops of the thighs press down. Knee people, please be very careful. Don't press your knees down. Joan, Kitty. Oh, Chaya joined us. Welcome, Chaya. Didn't see you there. Lengthen through the inner legs, from the inner thighs, through the inner knees, through the inner heels. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Now push gently down into the hands or fingertips to lengthen the side ribs. It's not about pushing down, it's about lengthening through the side ribs, shoulders down. Watch the ribs pushing forward. It's not this one where you throw the ribs forward. You have to keep the ribs into the body so that there's actually a lengthening from the hips to the armpits. If you throw the ribs forward, if you had a ruler measuring your hips to your armpits, the distance wouldn't increase. When you keep the ribs in, then the distance increases, and that's what we're looking for, because we're looking to create space between the vertebrae. Now we're going to do a twist again. So take your left hand on the outside of your right thigh, take your right hand behind you, lift first, and then on your exhalation, you can use that left hand on the outer thigh. It helps to bend the elbow, I find, bend that elbow, and then turn to the right. Again, not leading with the head, but seeking to wrap the ribs around. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Lift up, thighs down to help. If you press the thighs down, it actually can help lift the side ribs up, lift the torso up. Maintain that lift. So you're pressing gently through the hands or the fingertips. Maintain that lift. Take your right hand over the left leg, left hand behind you. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Again, not leaning with the head, but seeking to wrap the ribs around. And maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Separate your feet. Again, your choice if you want to lift or not. You can play with it. You can even try both. Be on your lift, be on the floor. See what you like better today. It's okay. Toes up, kneecaps up. Okay, so don't let the legs fall out to the side, which is what commonly happens. And the tops of the thigh bones still pressed down from the inner thigh, lengthen through the inner knee, through the inner heel, pushing through the ball of the big toe. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Gently pushing with the hands, lengthen to the side ribs. But again, watch those front ribs. Sometimes when we push the hands down, we throw the ribs forward. So you must keep the ribs in so that you can truly lengthen through the side ribs. And take your left hand inside of your legs, right hand on the outside of your legs. Lift, so you can gently push down. Lift again. If you can't reach the floor, front or back, use a lift, use a block. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Drop the shoulders down. Again, here it helps to rotate the upper arms out. That creates more length for the side ribs. With the caution, don't throw your front ribs forward. On each inhalation, lengthen a little bit. Exhaling, turn. Wrap the ribs around. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. When we get to center, often we collapse. So press the thighs down, lift up through the side ribs. Yes, keep the lengthening of the groins, keep drawing the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. But maintain that lift, and then right hand in between the legs, left hand on behind you, lifting, inhaling, lifting, exhale, turning. Wrap the ribs around. Drop the shoulders down, rotate the upper arms out. Rotating the upper arms out also allows the shoulders to release. It creates more space for the side ribs and lets the shoulders release. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you wrap the ribs around. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Hands by your hips. Press the thighs down, lengthen the inner legs, the inner groins, release the inner thighs, draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Now take hold of your strap and take your strap around your right foot. And then you're going to reach down, use your left hand. Now lift first. Don't just collapse and reach over, but lift and then take hold wherever you do on the strap. I don't care how far down it is. The right hand comes behind you. Now this left arm, don't lose that the left leg. Okay, lengthen through the inner left leg. Don't and keep the knee and foot pointed up. Lengthen both groins. That front elbow, bending that front elbow is going to help with the turn. So inhale, first lengthen the spine. So lift your chest, lift your sternum. And on your exhalation, bend your left elbow. The other elbow can bend too, but bend that left elbow and turn. Rotate. It's okay to lean forward somewhat. You don't have to be fully upright here, but rotate the ribs around. Notice the tendency. It's even happening to me. My head wants to turn. My head wants to turn because then I'll feel like I'm turning more. But I want to keep the chin in line with the sternum, so that will force me to focus on the torso itself and turning those ribs. Again, drop the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, come to center. You'll come back to upright. Take that strap, move it to your other foot. Then you want to reach down a little bit. So there is a little bit of leaning forward. It's not that you're just upright. You are leaning forward. Eventually, you're holding the outside of your foot. So you lean forward, take hold. Your other hand just goes wherever it lands for support. Now lift the chest. Inhale, lift the chest. You don't have to go upright, but you want to still lengthen that spine. Exhale, bend the elbow, the front elbow, and turn. Wrap the ribs around. Does this side feel the same or different than the other side? For me, it's quite different, like two different bodies. Are you working both legs still? Or have you forgotten about your right leg? Inhale, exhale, come to center. Use the strap, come back to upright. Hands by your hips, coming to center. And then take your hands on the inside of your knees, pull straight up, and take your feet together, Baddha Konasana. You take your strap underneath your feet here. If you're on the floor, you can take your hands underneath your feet, that's fine. If you're on a lift, you want to take a strap here. But not bending the elbows and pulling the strap up. So you want to reach further down. My hands are almost at the floor. So as far as down as I can get them without leaning forward. So keep the shoulders over your wrists and then reach down. And honestly, it's going to depend how long your arms are in relation to the rest of your body. So it's just different for everybody. It was a big understanding for me when I actually understood that. You know, you look at the pictures in Light on Yoga or other yoga books and you see these poses and you think you're supposed to achieve them. And then you begin to learn about body proportions. And I'm not talking weight or things like that. I'm just talking the physical length of an arm in relation to the torso, in relation to the legs. And it's different for different people. And therefore, your pose is going to look different. Long arm people and many poses can reach the floor when short arm people can't. Short leg people in standing forward bends can hit the floor because they're closer to it. I truly didn't understand that. I thought, I never can get to the floor. I'd see these teachers, how do they get to the floor? And then it was years into this practice where I realized, oh, they're shorter than I am. The floor is closer. Okay. So that's just to say, forget about the pictures in the book and start paying attention to our own bodies. I wish I had understood that earlier in my practice, but it's okay. I learned it when I needed it. Press your heels, lengthen the groins, outer knees to outer hips. Lift up through those side ribs without pushing the front ribs forward. Now take hold of the strap in your left hand now. Now the elbow is bent. If you're not using a strap, if you're on the floor, then the hand goes outside of the ankle. Right hand goes behind you. Now again, when you turn, the left knee might want to follow you. So before you turn, lengthen the groins, move the knees away from each other. Inhale, exhale, bend that front elbow, both elbows, but especially that front one. Bend that front elbow out to the side and wrap the ribs around. Don't lead with the head. Keep the chin in line with the sternum. Did I mention that we're doing twists today? Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Be in the center for a moment. Move those knees away from each other. Lift up through the side ribs. Maintain that lift, or even lift a little bit more. Then hold the strap with your right hand. Left hand goes behind you. Move the knees away from each other. Lengthen through the inner groins. Exhale, turn. Bend that front elbow. Use that action of the front elbow to help the turn. Chin in line with your sternum. Wrap the ribs around. Lengthen through the inner thighs. I know not everybody online is in Austin, but everyone here is in Austin, and most people online are also in Austin, and it's been a little chaotic, to say the least, over the past week or so. And the stress toxins begin to fill the body up. So we're going to twist to release some of those toxins from our bodies. And afterwards, make sure to drink lots of water. Some of you will need to boil it first. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Be in the center. Move those knees away from each other. Often even after the twist, because it affects the whole groin area as well. My knees are moving further away from each other. When you move your knees further away from each other, it makes the twist more accessible. When you do the twist, it opens the groins, moves the knees away from each other. That's how these poses begin to really work with different parts of the body. All right, release the strap. Take your hands on the outside of your knees. Push your legs together. Hold behind one knee. Draw the flesh towards the buttocks. Drag the heel. Straighten the leg. Other leg. Draw the flesh towards the buttock. Drag the heel. Straighten the leg. Tadasana. Thighs down. And release. Lie back on your mat. Olivia, you might need to move a little bit away from the wall, okay? So we often do this twist towards the end of class, but we're going to do it here now. So you're going to lie back with your legs bent, feet on the floor, arms out to the sides. Something weird on the screen here, so I just need to fix this for a second. Bend your legs, feet on the floor. Square your shoulders and square your hips. Bend your legs into your chest. Keep the thighs together. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow, keeping the thighs together. Keep the thighs together. So that means the bottom thigh needs to push towards the top thigh. From your belly button, from your navel towards your knees, turn to the right. From your navel towards your chest, turn to the left. So the navel is the splitting point. So from the navel up, turn to the left. From the navel down, turn to the right as your knees go to the right. Press into the right shoulder to keep the left shoulder and shoulder blade down. And then take your left hip away from your shoulder. Push with the bottom leg. Inhale, come up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs into your chest. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your knees towards your left elbow. So from your navel down, turn to the left. Follow the knees. From the navel up, turn to the right. So the lower part of the torso and the mid and upper part of the torso turn in different directions. From the navel down, turn to the left. From the navel up, turn to the right. Press your left shoulder down so that you keep your right shoulder and shoulder blade down. And the bottom thigh should be pushing into the top thigh so the thighs are together. Take your outer right hip away from your shoulder. And then redo the turn. From the navel down, turn to the left. From the navel up, turn to the right. Push with your bottom leg. Inhale, come up. Place your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs into your chest. One more time. Keep the thighs together. Inhale. Exhale, taking your knees towards your right elbow. The bottom thigh pushes up into the top thigh. From your navel down, turn to the right. From your navel up, turn to the left. Press into the right shoulder to keep the left shoulder down. And take your left hip away from your left shoulder. Soft face, soft jaw. The bottom leg, push, inhale, come up. Take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, take your knees towards your left elbow. Again, the bottom thigh pushing into the top thigh. From your navel down, turn to the left. From your navel up, navel down, turn to the left. From the navel up, turn to the right. Press into your left shoulder to keep the right shoulder blade down. Head is neutral. Take the outer right hip away from your shoulder. From your bottom leg, push to come up. Take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs into your chest, then straighten your legs towards the ceiling. Straighten your legs towards the ceiling. Keep the abdomen down and the ribs down. Now we're turning with straight legs. Inhale, and if this is difficult, go back to the bent legs. It's fine, do bent legs. Otherwise, straight legs. Inhale, exhale, take your feet over your right hand. Take your feet over your right hand. From the navel down, turn to the right. From the navel up, turn to the left. Press your right shoulder down to keep the left shoulder down. Move the left outer hip away from your shoulder and extend through the outer left leg. and then push to come up. Inhale, come to center. Actually, just bend your legs. Place your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. And then bend your legs back into your chest. Straighten your legs towards the ceiling. Keep the abdomen down and the front ribs down. Inhale, exhale. Now the feet come to the left and the feet hang over the left hand. From the navel down, turn to the left. From the navel up, turn to the right. Press into the left shoulder blade to keep the shoulder, to keep the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. Take your right hip away from your right shoulder and extend through the outer right leg, as if you're trying to get your outer right heel further away from you. Inhale, take your legs up to center. Bend your legs into your chest. Place your feet on the floor. And square your hips and square your shoulders. And roll to the side. Come up. Come up to standing. How's everybody doing so far? Got a lot of twisting going on. Take your feet hip distance apart. You can be a little wider if you want. I'm going to do a forward bend. Extend your arms forward, arms up. So first, hold your elbows. Inhale, toes are straight, so feet straight. Inhale, exhale, come forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. And if you feel that you want to take your feet a little further apart, once you get in, you're going, oh, this isn't really where I want it to be. Take your feet further apart. That's okay. The thighs do press back. So we're in Uttanasana, forward bend, holding the elbows. All the leg work is there. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Lengthen from the inner knees to the inner groins. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Moving your sit bones towards the ceiling. Let your torso fall over your thighs. Now let your arms go. Take your left hand on the outside of your right ankle. Take your right hand on your hip. Inhale, lengthen through the side ribs. Exhale, bend that left elbow and begin to turn to face the side wall. Again, not leading with the head, but wrapping those ribs around. That's it, Carla. Good. The elbow begins to move towards the ceiling, but not because you're cranking the elbow or the shoulder, but as you rotate the torso, so your left ribs are trying to push your right elbow towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come down to center. Your fingertips can touch the floor for a moment. If they touch, maybe not, depending on the length of your arms and the flexibility in your legs. Right hand now on the outside of your left leg. Left hand on your hip. Again, lengthen first. So inhale, lengthen through the side ribs. Exhale, bend the elbow and turn. Wrap the ribs around. Your right ribs are now trying to push your left elbow towards the ceiling. Right ribs are pushing your left elbow towards the ceiling. So don't just crank the elbow back. That can be done from the shoulder joint, but we're looking for the action to come from the twist. And then releasing, turn your torso back. Fingertips on the floor for a moment. Then you can take your hands on your hips, extend your chest forward. Inhale, come up. And then remember where your feet are. We're going to go back. So if you liked where your feet were, then remember where they are and come into Tadasana with feet together or feet hip distance apart. And of course, when we go back, if you want to adjust where your feet were, that's of course fine. They were a little too close together or maybe too far apart, we adjust. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Lengthen up through the side ribs. Shoulders down. Use this time to check in. What are you noticing? What are you experiencing? Separate the feet. So for me, I chose a little further than hip distance apart today. You can do what's appropriate for you. Arms forward, arms up. So as soon as my arms go up, the ribs go forward. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Find a lengthening through the side ribs. Hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time. If you don't remember, it's the weird way. So this feels normal, this feels weird, okay? Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forward. Hips over your heels. So be here for a moment, lift up through the legs, and then be here for a moment. On each exhalation, allow for a lengthening from your hips through your armpits. It extends through the elbows, yes. But see if you can get those side ribs a little bit longer. Just like when we were doing the sitting twists, we said inhale, lift, right? We were looking to lift through the side ribs, which really is also about the spine, right? But we have a closer understanding. We can feel our side ribs, so we have a closer understanding with them. When the side ribs lengthen, the spine also lengthens. So allow for that lengthening through the side ribs. And then releasing the hands, take the left hand on the outside of the right ankle or calf, wherever it lands. Right hand on your hip. Lengthen first. Inhale, lengthen through the side ribs. Exhale, bend your elbow and turn. Rotate the ribs around. The bottom elbow bends. That helps the turn. So try and get the bottom elbow towards the floor, and that is from the elbow. And as you take the bottom elbow towards the floor by bending it, use your left ribs to push your right elbow towards the ceiling. Take the elbows away from each other. Exhale, come to center. Lengthen through the side ribs. Take your right hand across to the outer left ankle, left hand on your hip. Again, inhale, lengthen through the side ribs. Exhale, bend the right elbow. Try and get that right elbow onto the ground. It doesn't go onto the ground, I know that. But bend the elbow, seeking the ground. Wrap the ribs around, and use your right ribs. As you move them around, the right ribs push the left elbow up. Your elbows themselves move away from each other. Still straight legs if that's accessible to you. And exhaling, coming back down. Being in the center for a moment. And then hands on hips, extend the chest forward. Inhale, come up, feet together. Tadasana. Extend the arms out to the sides, rotate the arms up. Watch those ribs. Inhale, take the arms up. Now use your left hand, take hold of your right wrist. I'm going to get on my knees just so people at home can see. Yep, take hold of your wrist. Now don't just pull your arm to the side. Use your left hand, pull your arm up, push into your both feet, but that right foot, press into the right outer foot and pull the right arm up and then over to the side. But pull more up than out. Olivia, rotate it so the palm is facing, yeah, there you go. Up and over. And then keep pulling up. Don't just use that left hand to pull the right arm over. Pull it up. Reach for the ceiling. And then keep pulling up as you come back to center. Don't collapse. And then Urdhva Hastasana. Take your right hand, hold your left wrist. Pull up first. And from the foot all the way to the side, we are lengthening. And then reach over, but pull up and over, not just over, up and over, up. Head back. And then keep pulling up as you come to center, Urdhva Hastasana. And then turn your hands out to the side, come down. You can also do this holding the hands together. Arms out to the sides, arms up. Inhale, come up. You're still in Tadasana. I'm just on my knees so you can see me. Of course, you can practice this on your knees. And then take your hands together, but interlace your fingers and point the top finger up. Now push up. Try and straighten the arms. Push up. Watch the ribs. The ribs are now coming out. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Reach up with both hands. It's more up than out to the side. Reach up and then begin to turn to the right. Or bend to the right, I should say. But don't just pull down. Don't just pull down. Push up. Up and over, up and over, up and over. And the foot stays anchored. And inhale, come up. You have to change the interlock of the fingers. Okay, the first finger is still pointing up. Reach up first and then come over. Reach up first and then come over and then continue reaching up. Get more up than over, more up than over. If you just go over, you're collapsing the bent side. If you just go over, you're compressing the left side of your body. So you must go up so that you don't compress the left side of your body as you're opening the right side. And then reaching up, come up to center, release the hands, Urdhva Hastasana, hands out to the side, Tadasana. Take a couple blocks to the front of your mat. Towards the sides. We're setting up for Parvita Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. So you'll move your blocks once you get into position, but they're here for you. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jumper step your feet apart. Take your hands on your hips for a moment. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Now we need to turn towards the side. So pick up your back heel and take that left hip forward and then place your heel back down. Now you can take this block and put it on the instep of your foot. That back thigh turns in, front thigh turns out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. You're still looking for that lengthening of the groins from the knees to the lower abdomen, and lift up to the side ribs here. Lift up to the side ribs. Now as you press into the back heel, extend your left arm up. Press into the back heel, extend the left arm up. Watch those ribs, that the ribs don't come forward. Inhale, exhale, press into the back heel, extend forward, 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 forward. Keep the chest going forward as you take your fingertips onto the block. Take your right hip back so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. And extend through the side ribs. Inhale, exhale, wrap the ribs around. Wrap the ribs around. Don't lean forward or back. Keep your spine parallel to the front and back walls. And turn. Still lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. Turn towards the back wall. Turn towards the back wall. And again, not just the head goes. And sometimes we turn more at the abdomen, sometimes we turn more at the shoulders. Since we've been focusing on the ribs today, see what the experience is like if you wrap your ribs around. There's not a right and wrong here. There are different effects from different actions. Inhale, exhale, turn your torso back towards the floor. Press into your back heel, take your left hand and swing that up and over. And then parallel your feet, watch that block, it's in your way. Take your hands on your hips. Left foot in, I'm sorry, right foot in, left leg out, other side. Pick up the back heel, turn to the left and place the back heel down. It is front heel in line with back arch. If you're not balanced and you need to take that front foot a little further off to the side, that's fine. But don't cross the front foot over the back foot. Take your block, place it on the instep of your foot. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. So that the right hip comes forward. The right thigh turns in to allow the right hip to come forward. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the inner groins. Press the back heel as you extend your right arm up. Reach up, really get length, right? We worked on the length of the sides, right? So really get length in the sides. Inhale, exhale, reach forward, but now keep the chest moving forward as you bring your fingertips back onto the block. Take the left hip back. So your left hand is on your left hip. Take that left hip back, lengthen through the side ribs. Inhale, exhale, rotate the ribs. Keep your spine parallel to the front and back walls. Rotate the ribs around. Still lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Rotate the ribs around. Soft jaw, soft face. Inhale, on your exhalation, come back, turn your torso towards the floor, press into the back heel, use your right arm, swing yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, step your feet together. Well, from my perspective, that went medium. It's the hard pose. So we're going to use a chair. Let's take a chair. Put the blocks away, take a chair to the side of your mat. And this is taking you a little higher. My hope is that you'll be able to access the twisting part a little bit more. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens. You got it, Carla? All right, so take your right foot underneath the center of the chair, left foot back. The left foot is turned out slightly, but that left thigh still turns in. The front thigh still turns out. Make sure the front foot, the toes point straight ahead. And do lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips together. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body, lengthen through the side ribs here. Inhale, and your exhalation, come forward, take your torso towards the floor, take your right hand on top of on the chair, but on top of your foot. I'm sorry, left hand. I was wrong. Left hand, I'm sorry. Left hand above your foot. Right hand keeps that right hip back. Now inhale, lengthen through those side ribs, and exhale, push into the chair and rotate the ribs around. Push into the chair and rotate the ribs around. So yes, the final pose is your hands on the floor on the outside of your foot. But if you're not getting the turn, then who cares? Rotate the ribs around. Don't lean back to do it, Olivia. So keep your spine perpendicular to the wall. And then be here for a moment. Actually enjoy it. If you'd like, you can certainly extend your right arm up just for the picture. If your right arm is up, then you extend those arms away from each other. Still wrapping the ribs around. Right hip still moving back. Lifting the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthening the groins. The more you lengthen the groins, the more turn you get. And then everybody, the top hand on your hip, turn your torso towards the floor. Take your hands on your chair for support. Bend the front leg and just take your feet together. Hands on your hips, come up. Take a breath. Left foot forward, right leg back. But as soon as I take that right leg back, my hip goes with it, and I want the hips to be squared. So as I take the right foot back, I have to take the right hip forward. And then lift the outer knees to the outer hips and lengthen the groins. And then it's worth it to spend a moment here lengthening through your side ribs. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body and lengthen the side ribs. More and more as time goes on. It's not just one lift and then you're done. Really get that length here. The twist will be, it creates space in the spine so the twist can do the work that it needs to do. Now inhaling, keep that length. Exhale, come forward. Try and take the chest across the room. Don't just take the chest towards the chair, but take it towards the side of the room, and then take your right hand, put it on the chair above your foot. Now that left hip is coming forward, so take the left hip back, lengthen the side ribs, keep your spine perpendicular to the wall, so don't lean forward or back, just rotate. Rotate those ribs. Rotate those ribs. Take the right shoulder away from your ear by rotating the upper arm out. Use the right ribs to push the left elbow towards the ceiling, right? Just like we did in the forward bend twist, in the Uttanasana twist. And then be here and join. Still outer knees to outer hips, still lengthening the groins. Soft face. If you'd like, yes, you're welcome to extend the left arm up. If you do, then the arms extend away from each other. And then everybody, left hand on your hip. Turn your torso towards the chair. Take your hands onto the chair, and then take both feet back. Downward facing dogs, hands on the chair. Front bottom ribs towards the back body, still lengthening through the side ribs, thighs back. Don't just push the shins or knees back. Take the awareness to the tops of the thighs, press the thighs back. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips, lengthen from the inner knees through the inner groins, the flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Hands are flat. No air pockets. No air pockets. And then look up, walk your feet forward. Tadasana. Checking in. Noticing without judgment, just noticing the discrepancies on the two sides of the body. Finding a curiosity there versus a judgment. Shoulders down. And release. Take the chair, turn it to face the back of the chair faces the front, and then you face the side. Lengthen the groins, descend the groins, arms forward, arms up. Get the length. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Notice how as soon as those arms come up, the front ribs go forward. Keep the lift. Exhale, take your arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the sides of the chair or the back of the chair, the back bar. Soften the groins, lengthen and release the groins. Chin in line with your sternum. Inhale, lifting up to the side ribs. Exhale, turn, wrap the ribs around. Don't let the top of the buttocks lift up. The top of the buttocks goes down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning towards the back of the chair. Soften your shoulders. Soften your face. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Turn around. Arms forward, arms up. Watch the ribs. Ribs towards the back body. Lengthen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arms out to the side. Widen. Inhale. Exhale, take hold of the back of the chair. Front bottom is towards the back body. Please lengthen the groins here. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Wrap the ribs around. The top of the buttocks moves down. Don't let it come up. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Soften your shoulders, please. So elbows out to the sides. We're still trying to move the elbows away from each other. Creates more space for the side ribs and softens the shoulders. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Wrap those ribs around. Inhale, maintain the lift. Exhale, come to center. Turn around. Watch the ribs. Arms forward, arms up. Lengthen. Soften the groins. Top of the buttocks down. Inhale. Exhale, arms out to the side. Widen. Ribs into the body. Inhale. Exhale. Take hold of the back of the chair. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Now gaze over your left shoulder, away from the turn. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Now take your right hand and hold the back of the chair or the side of the chair. Now the seat. Take your right hand and hold the seat of the chair. Anywhere on the seat. Anywhere underneath the seat that you get. Now that back elbow now is going to bend, and that's going to help the turn. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right elbow. Still pushing, pulling with your left elbow. Turn. Now we're going to turn the head. Inhale. Exhale, turn your head over your right shoulder. Yeah, so now the head goes over the right shoulder, Joe. Oh, no. Oh, okay. You're the other way. Sorry. Inhale. Exhale, come to center. Keep the lift. Don't collapse when you come to center. Turn. Our last twist. This is it. Arms forward, arms up. Lengthen the groins. Release the groins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the back of the chair. So gaze over your away from the turn. So over your right shoulder, away from the turn. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turn. Let's take your back hand now and take hold of the lip of the chair. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Switch your hands, Joe. No, take your left hand over. Now take your left hand. That one, take over to the side. No, this one, you're facing the same way as me. So this one goes over to the side, and the other one goes behind you. That's it. Ribs in, inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. You're gazing away from the turn. Wrap the ribs around, soften the groins. And then on your next exhalation, gaze to look over your opposite shoulder. So you're going with the turn now. Sean, your knees are moving away from each other. That's it. And exhale, come to center. Stand up, release the chair. Downward facing dog. You can still use the chair. If you want the chair for downward facing dog, take it, or blocks, anything you need to support you in downward facing dog. Otherwise, we'll do it on the floor. Forearms in, press into the inner hand, rotate the upper arms out. Toes under, straighten your legs. Inhale, exhale, sit bones up, thighs back, chest towards your thighs. Really press those thighs back. Take the heels up for a moment. And when you take them down, don't just take them down. Press the thighs back and take the heels towards the wall behind you. Try and get the heels further back. The further back they go, the further down they'll go, but you get that lengthening of the spine to go along with it. So here we are in a symmetrical pose. Even out the sides of the body, even out the arms, even out the legs, even out the torso. Inhale, exhale, bend your legs, touch your knees to the floor precisely the same moment. You can also come into Tadasana if you'd like. If you're on the floor, feet together, knees apart, lengthen the arms forward, rest your skull, either on the floor or on a block. Don't force your head to the floor, and don't have it hanging, please. And here we are again in a symmetrical pose, child's pose, Adho Mukha Virasana. Finding evenness on the two sides of the arms, the legs, the torso. Take the top of the buttocks away from your shoulders. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up, lie back. Feet on the floor. And then bend your knees into your chest, hold around your shins. Take your sit bones away from your waist, draw your thighs towards your torso. Then take your hands around your right shin only. Take your left foot onto the floor, still bent. Draw the right thigh towards your torso. As you draw the right thigh towards the torso, now drag your left heel on the floor and straighten your left leg. Keep the left thigh turned in. This is going to ease, or the purpose of it anyway, is to ease the lower back in case there's any tenderness after all those twists. Soften the shoulders, draw the right thigh down, take the right outer hip away from your shoulder. As you draw the right thigh down, lengthen through the inner left leg. Groins are soft. Find a spreading, a widening across the sacral band, the sacrum, that base of the spine. Bend your legs together, so left leg to the right leg, be in the center with both legs for a moment. And then hands around the left shin. Take the right foot on the floor. Draw the left thigh down, and then drag the right heel, straighten the right leg. The right thigh turns in as you do so. Take the outer left hip away from your left shoulder, so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. And as you take the left thigh down, lengthen through the inner right leg. Groins of both legs still lengthening, still releasing. Soft shoulders, soft face. Broaden across the sacrum. So from the center of the sacrum, broaden out to the left and right sides of the body. Then the right leg into the chest next to the left. Hold both legs together. A beautiful opportunity to give yourself a hug, say something kind to yourself. Offer yourself some gratitude. And then take your hands on the face of your knees. Inhale, let your thighs move away from you just a few inches. Exhale, draw the thighs back towards you. Inhaling, thighs moving away. Exhaling, thighs moving towards you. A few breaths like this. Just massaging, releasing the lower back. Also massages the abdomen. On your next inhalation, let your feet come to the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. If there's tenderness in your lower back, you can keep your legs bent or place them on a chair. Arms out to the side comfortably. Let your legs go, let your arms go. Let go. Let go. Let the arms, the legs flow away from your torso. Find a softness in the skin, the flesh of the arms, the legs. And let that softness extend to the torso, front, sides, and back. As the torso surrenders to the Mother Earth below you, the skin itself becoming softer. And then extending to the face, letting the skull release, and then in the skin of the face and the neck become very soft. The ears as well. The forehead, the eyelids, the nose, the flesh becoming soft, the cheekbones and cheeks soft, the jaw, the flesh soft, the ears. And the inside flesh of the mouth, the inside cheeks, the inside lips, the upper and lower palates also becoming soft. Allow the breath to breathe you. Allow the breath to do the work of restoring the body. You don't need to do anything. You can simply observe the breath, the prana, the cosmic life force doing its work with you, with your body. Begin slowly coming out. Take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation. And a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Take your hands, place them onto your abdomen or onto your chest. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right side. You can, of course, roll to the left side if that creates more ease for you. Be on your side for just a moment. When you feel ready, turn your torso towards the floor. Take your top hand, place it on the floor in front of your heart. Push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting. Cross your legs the opposite way as you did in the beginning of class. Bring your palms together. Broaden across both the front and back chest. Release the shoulders. Dry your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up, taking a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Thank you, everybody.